elastic hours, they expand and shrink. Memories blur faster than you think. One moment's forever, the next just a blink. In this elastic time, we sink or swim. So hold on tight to now, 'cause time will wait for you. In this elastic flow, each second's precious true.
Okay, so I'm sorry that this video is late and also that this isn't a normal reaction video, but my grandpa had to go to the hospital last week, and so luckily there's nothing serious that the doctor had told us. So right now we're just gonna take him to his primary doctor. He's back home. He's been back home for a little while now, and so yeah, so I haven't had time to record or anything. My uncle, due to what happened with my grandpa, he has been coming to visit, so I've been busy with that as well, and also work and other life stuff. So again, I apologize that this video has taken so long. I don't even know when I'm going to post this, but yeah, I'm going to talk about the Winx Club reboot and my overall thoughts on this. And this is probably gonna be like no, it's not probably going to be. This is like my third try to make this video, but I want to give my overall thoughts, and I haven't been able to do it the way that I think will sound good, and in a way that doesn't sound like I'm being too mean or I'm going too much in the rant. But anyway, yeah, my thoughts on the Winx Club is that although it does have a couple of writing problems, I do see some potential, and also I do like some of the decisions that they made for the reboot as well, and some of the designs. I know some people may not like the design, they like some more than others, and for example, I like Bloom's probably my favorite design, and my least favorite design probably gonna have to be Scylla. Just because of face, I don't know, it's something about the way that they designed her face, and also her fairy design when she does her magical Winx transformation as well. But yeah, I could do a whole separate video probably of me ranking the redesign. Sorry, but I could sometimes look past some bad character designs and some bad animation with. Okay, so I didn't finish what I was trying to say, so I'm just gonna add this here while I'm editing, that I can look past bad animation, but the story has to be good in order for me to look past the bad animation and bad character design. But the thing with the Winx Club reboot, as I'm gonna go on to explain, there's a lot of problems with the story to where you cannot look past the animation, you cannot look past the clear problems that the story has and the problems that the plot has as a whole. Even though, again, as I'm going to say in this video, I still see the potential in this reboot, and I hope that this reboot can continue, but yeah, there's just some things that they're gonna have to fix before I say that this is a really good Winx Club reboot. Yes, the show does have some bad animation that even I noticed, and I don't really notice that stuff a lot. I did really notice it in the first episode when Bloom was talking to her father, but that could also be because I was watching it in English, not in its original language, so maybe that's why it had the problem that old anime has, where the mouth does not sink in with what the character is saying. But I also think that it could also be the animation, but that being said, there was this part where I did like the texture, the animation, and the color, which it was in episode 2, where Blue was looking at these magical creatures is where she made this very dumb decision to take off the collar. With that seems to happen a lot in this season. But yeah, I really did like the texture, the colors, and everything in that particular part of the show. And yeah, for the most part, I thought that the animation was pretty passable. Certainly, if you look into it a lot and if you really want to nitpick, there are things that you will notice. And I'm not saying this to bash anyone or anything, but for me, none of the animation really was that much of a problem. I have more of a problem of some of the writing decisions that they made. And I guess I'm gonna start with how they wrote Miss Farragonda and Mrs. Griffin to kind of give you an example of what I mean by some of the character decisions and some of the writing decisions, where I really do not understand how the Trick got away with most of the stuff that they got away with. This is a problem because in the original series, and I'm gonna try not to compare it, but I need to compare it for this one scene, and I might compare it again. But in the original series, the Tricks were in a different school than the Winx. So when they were bullying the Winx, or when they were attacked the Winx, it made sense that they would not get punished or they would not have any consequences right away, because the Mr. Griffin might not have known about it, or if he does, they could probably find a way where it doesn't sound that bad, where they will water it down what they were trying to do, or what they ended up doing. But in this one, because they made the Wizards of Cloud Tower and also the fairies from, get the name, the one where the wings go, Althea. They made all of them go to Althea. It made it so it was hard for the teacher not to notice, especially when Mrs. Griffin, she has an assistant in this reboot who happens to also be a specialist, the only female specialist that is in the series currently. And I've been don't remember which episode, but in one of the episodes, she actually sees the Tricks attack the Bloom. And so it makes it very hard not to believe that at one point she would have told Mrs. Griffin and Miss Farragonda. Sorry, I got confused. She's not Mrs. Griffin's assistant, she meant Farragonda's assistant. Sorry. And also, I'm sorry if I got the two names confused. But yeah, at some point you would think that she would tell one of the teachers, one of the principals, but it seemed like she didn't. And even when they did, the worst punishment that they got was having their magic taken from them temporarily. And compare that again to the original series, where they actually got expelled. Once Mrs. Griffith and Miss Farragonda found out about the full scope of what they were doing, they got expelled. And then they also, after they tried to take over all the schools of magic, they also got put into jail in one of the other seasons, not the first season, but I think like the second or the third season, they got put in jail. And in this one, they were not kicked out of the school. Like I said, the first thing that happened to them is they got their magic taken away. And when they did find out, or when it was confirmed that they knew that they were working with the main baddie of this series, at least currently, I don't know how long he's gonna be the main bad. They were not put in jail. They were not questioned any further. I mean, you would think that they would try to get information from them. Like, okay, when he would talk to you, how would you guys communicate? Or do you know if he had like a hideout somewhere? Or do you know any of his plans? Something. But no, all that Miss Griffin does is just say that I'm going to take up a punishment. It could be the worst punishment I have ever done. one that even I might think is too much. But they don't put them in jail or nothing. They were completely free to go behind the Winx to where Bloom was and to try to not attack Bloom and not attack the Winx, but try to get revenge from the main baddie because they were betrayed at the end. I'm sorry that I haven't mentioned this, but there are gonna be spoilers in this video. So yeah, I don't know why they would just let them roam free like that. Apparently they know who they were working with, and also even though the tricks were not involved and they didn't know, even though they did not know that he was going to attack the school of the specialist, and they had nothing to do with that. They still were involved with the man who caused seemingly the death. They didn't say that he was dead, but the principal of the specialist, he seemed to be trapped in another dimension with no way back. So you would think that they will have a lot more of something to say about that, and they will have a lot more consequences, but I guess not. And also little things like when they were doing a test, because I did watch Unicorn of War, her video, and the teacher specifically said not to hurt anybody. Other than that, anything's allowed. Yet they were allowed to put a student in danger, and they were allowed to push and kind of cause Bloom and Flora to fall. So that's another example. And yeah, so I don't know. And that's just one thing that really did annoy me. Another thing that really annoyed me was the episode where Bloom was turned into Dark Bloom. I don't know if it has an official name, but she was put under a dark spell, and all I could think once I paused the episode and everything, I'm like, you had the perfect opportunity. The main villain, I mean, had the perfect opportunity to kidnap Bloom and to get her dragon flame. Granted, at this point, he did not know that Bloom will have to give up her dragon flame willingly, but he still had the opportunity to kidnap her and to see if he could get the dragon flame some other way. Yet he just put her under the dark spell and told the trick to kind of train her or teach her the ways of the darkness, is what he said. And so when he was yelling at the trick and yelling at Damien, blaming both of them, or at least, no, not Damien, just the trick this one time, blaming them for letting Bloom go away. All I was thinking of, you can't blame them when you had the chance to take her, and you had the chance to steal the flame. And that kind of made it so the villain really did not seem believable. I can't even remember her name. I don't know if that says anything, but yeah, I did not like the main villain. I kind of like what they were doing with the trick, making them the mean girls and making them like stereotypical school bullies for the Winx, specifically for Bloom. But it did lead to the problem that I was talking about earlier. And yeah, also, I do not understand the motivation that they had. And I even forgot. Again, I had to watch a YouTube video to remember that their whole motivation this season was to get staff in order to rule the whole magical dimension. So, I don't know. That's why the tricks were helping him. And again, I even forgot about that because at the end of the day, it meant nothing. But yeah, that's just something that I hope they will work on the next season, which is apparently is going to come out sometime next year. It's the animation. Give the animators some more money and also the writing. Get somebody to look at the script one last time, because honestly, there's a lot of problems in my opinion with the writing. And also, I kind of hope that next season we'll have more episodes, and also we will have more opportunities to kind of sit with the characters and really develop the characters, because a lot of them seem watered down. Oh, specifically with Aisa, I felt like her character was very lacking to me. With Bloom, I could kind of see how where they were trying to take her character, but it did feel a little bit too different at some point. Her naivety to me got depending on the episode, was too much of a problem. Specifically with episode 2, I feel like she was a little bit too naive. At some point it was understandable, but I just really prefer how she was in the original. They made her a little bit too naive, and they made her a little bit too sweet, but her character wasn't that bad, I want to say, but it could also be developed a little bit more like the rest of them. And like I was saying, I just think that we can need some more episodes to really flesh out and really show the bonds between these girls, because this reboot really does depend on, or rely on, sorry, but I'm trying to say, it relies on really your knowledge on the original series, because not a lot was explained. I didn't really feel like I got lost too much in the story, but that could also be because I did watch the original series, and I kind of know the beats that they're going to hit. Like, I can imagine that in season 2 we're gonna get the reveal that Bloom is the Princess of Domino, and Daphne is her sister. And we're also probably gonna go back to Earth, to Gardenia, and talk to Bloom about their parents next season. But if you do not know the story or anything, you're going to be lost. Or even if you do know, because another problem that I was having, or maybe it just means I wasn't paying attention, but there were things that flew by me, and I don't really remember them mentioning this, because they didn't really stop to explain anything. They just drop the information and they move on. So I think it would have helped if we did have more episodes, and if they would have more time to kind of really explain the world and explain the lore and explain the history, because I do feel like they are trying to make a bigger deal of the history of what happened in the world of magic, specifically this war between the darkness and the light. They haven't said yet who's in the company of the light or something like that. But if you watch the original, you know that it was Farragonda. I believe Mrs. Griffith was there too, if I remember correctly, and also the principal from the specialist school, whose name I'm forgetting right now. So that is another thing that I need to work on, and something that I do hope they will take more time to kind of develop the character, develop the history, and maybe more episodes will help, and maybe just take your time with writing, with the animation and all that. But other than that, I was able to watch it. I didn't have too much of a problem with it. I did enjoy it. Would I say that is my favorite season or my favorite interpretation of it? No. I still prefer the original over the reboot. But some of the stuff that I saw in the reboot, I do see potential for some story, and also I do appreciate that they're not making it a one-to-one. They're legitimately trying to lessen the story, lessen up these characters. And an example of this is what they did with the trick, but also adding a twin brother for Bloom. I thought that was an interesting touch. It also making him probably be a love interest for Flora. I feel like that has potential for a pretty interesting storyline down the road, and it definitely has some potential for some drama if they do it right. For right now, I can't say that I feel one way or the other with it, but I see the potential with it, and I also am curious to see how they will handle the other romantic subplot with Musa, Vivian, Stella, Brandon, Timmy, and Tekna, and Blue Sky. The only one who right now doesn't have a romantic interest is Aisha, but that's fine. She doesn't need a romantic interest right now. I think that before she gets a romantic interest, they should develop her more because she's the one that got the least development, in my opinion, and who needs it the most. Other than because they're trying to give her the thing about her feeling pressure with being a princess and also getting pressure from her family, but I just think that wasn't really enough. It still didn't make her feel like a well-rounded character, in my opinion. So I just think that they need more time to develop as well as the rest. But yeah, I do see the potential, and I am curious to see what they're going to do with those subplots and what type of transformations are they going to have, because we still don't know if they're going to have any new transformation or not. Bloom, at the end of the season, she got a whole new transformation a la Sailor Moon with the white and the gold and everything. But yeah, we still haven't seen for the new character, for the rest of the characters. So that'll be something that I'll be interested in. See, we're gonna dive in more to the family dynamic, because right now we only hinted at the Stella's family problems, Aisha's family problem, Yusa's family problem, and also we only kind of dive into Tekna and how she doesn't feel like she's human because she can't really express her feelings. So that's another thing that I think could be explored a lot more during the next couple of seasons, which we don't know how many things we're gonna get at this point. But I need to know that we're gonna get one more season next year. And yeah, I don't know. Like, will this bring new people to watch the Winx Club? I hope so, because I do love the characters. I do love the concept of the Winx Club. So I do hope that they improve over time and that this season does not deter any people from not wanting to watch it. And I do hope that people will give the series a chance, because like I said, there is potential here, but I would be lying if I didn't say it was a rocky start. So yeah, I think that is my overall thoughts about this. I don't want to go too much in detail, because I don't want to make the video longer than what it meant to be, but I think I got the overall sense of how I felt, and yeah, I just hope that there is improvement for the next season. I'm curious to see what happens next, but thank you for watching this video. I'm sorry if it's too ranty. Like I said, I'm trying to do this quickly because of what's going on, and I'm going to try to find time to record some other videos, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. Take care and have a nice day.